Okay, today we're going to work with, I thought it was algo, it's not algo. Today we're going to work with voz activa and voz pasiva. Voz activa is what we already know that it's a normal sentence, like for example, David studies English. It's a subject that does an action in any tense. David studies English, David studied English, David will study English, David has studied English. That's active voice. And we're going to work with some examples in Spanish. For example, I say, vale limpia la casa. We have a subject, an action, and then a complement. In passive voice, we say, la casa es limpiada por Vale. Now we give more importance to the person, the animal, or the thing that receives the action of the verb, right? So we say, la casa es limpiada por Vale. Or la casa es limpiada, this is not important anymore, because the action is more important than the person that does it. So you saw this is in Spanish in school, right? Yes? This is voz activa and voz pasiva. Well, the same is in English. How do you say, vale, how do you say, vale limpia la casa?
Vale cleans.
Okay, you say, vale cleans the house. That's in English. And how do you say this, Andres? La casa es limpiada por Vale. The house is
clean.
Yes, the pronunciation is cleaned. For Vale, no. By Vale. By Vale. When you mention the person, the animal, or the thing that does the action, you use the preposition by. Okay? So it's easy. We put the verb to be and then the verb in past participle. And another example would be in voz activa. Would be David habla inglés. Right? How do you say the passive voice of this sentence? I was going to write voz pasiva. How do you say the passive voice of this? Like this: es Vale limpia la casa, es la casa limpiada por Vale. How do you say, Marcos, this sentence in passive? In Spanish. How do you say this in voz pasiva in Spanish? Annette, how do you say it in voz pasiva? David, how do you say that in voz pasiva? It's late. Hi, hello. So how do you say it?
El inglés es hablado por David.
What's going on? Annette. El inglés es hablado por David, right? And now, how do you say this in English, Annette? David speaks English. And how do you say this, Marcos, in English? Well, we don't say that in English. We say English is speak does not exist. Spoke is past, we need past participle. Spoken is spoken
By David.
Yes. So, This is active voice and this is passive voice. If I say in Spanish, Alejandro, if I say in Spanish, hello Hassan. If I say Marcos lavó el carro, how do you say the passive? If I say Marcos lavó el carro, how do you say it in passive? El carro fue. And how do you say el carro fue lavado por Marcos in English?
The car is.
El carro fue lavado. Fue.
The car was.
The car was.
Washed by mother.
That's correct. The thing that is going to change in the tense is the verb to be. If I say something in present, I'm going to use the verb to be in present. But if I say something in past, my verb to be has to be in past. And if I say something in future, my verb to be has to be in future. Right? For example, if I say Annette, how do you say Annette pintará la casa?
La casa es pintada.
La casa?
La casa es pintada.
Annette pintará. No pinta. Annette pintará.
La casa será pintada.
Será.
Será pintada.
And how do you say that in English? Será pintada. La casa.
Is going.
Will.
Will be. The house will be painted. The house will be painted. So, what happens to the verb to be? The verb to be is the only one that changes in English. The apple is eaten. The apple was eaten. The apple will be eaten. The apple has been eaten. The apple is being eaten. You notice that the only thing that changes is the verb to be. The rest of the sentence remains the same. So, basically, that is possible. Well, you may copy that. Well, yeah. And we were not that afraid. For example, if something fell on the floor, a tortilla or something, we just took it, we cleaned it, and we ate it again. You could drink water from the rivers 20 years ago, 25 years ago. Right now, you can't. Anyway, so, active voice is when a person, an animal, or a thing realizes an action, does an action. Is the subject. There's a subject that does something. For example, I would say, Annette spoke, will speak, has spoken, or is speaking. English at school. I have 5 different tenses. Those are not the only tenses. There are more tenses. But what I want to show you here is that the active voice can be in any tense. I say, Annette speaks English at school. Annette spoke English at school. Will speak, has spoken, is speaking. The only thing that changes is my conjugation of the verb. The rest remains the same. Right? Well, in the passive voice is the same thing. The only thing that is going to change is the verb to be. I will say, for example, now my object is English. I have to begin with my object, my grammatical object, because my object can be a person, an animal, or a thing. For example, if I say, Pedro kisses Anna, Anna is my grammatical object, and I have to begin my second sentence with Anna. So I'm talking about grammatical objects, not real objects, okay? And the real object, the grammatical object, comes immediately after the verb. This is the verb, and this is the object. So this object is going to be the subject of my first sentence. So I'm going to say English, and here obligatorily Because the first sentence says, Annette speaks English. Annette habla inglés. How say, vale, el inglés es hablado? El inglés es hablado por Annette. How say that? El inglés es hablado. English is. So I need the verb to be. Obligatorily, I need the verb to be. El inglés es hablado. Okay? And that would be English is spoken at school. And if I want to mention the person that does the action, I will use the preposition by. By Annette. Which is not necessary. And now the second sentence, Hassan says, Annette spoke English. How will I say this in English?
O sea, ¿qué dice Annette spoke English?
Annette spoke English says, Annette habló inglés. How will I say that in English?
Annette has spoken.
Has spoken. No, has spoken is this. It's active voice. Annette, sorry, English was spoken. El inglés fue hablado. Okay? Annette habló inglés, el inglés fue hablado por Annette. Alright? Now, Annette will speak English. What's here? English? English?
Just a will.
Will. English will?
Speak.
Will is, no, this is permanent, it's participle, it's permanent. Will? Will? Be. Will be. El inglés será hablado. Alright? And this will applies to will is the same as can, should, may, might, must, etc. So if I say here, Annette must speak English at school, then would be English must be spoken at school. So all the modal verbs are like must be, can be, should be, might be, etc. Okay? I only put will, but you can use all of them. Alright? But obviously, if it says will, here you have to use will. If it's can, should, must. Yes, Vale? Yes? Okay, good. Andres, the next sentence says, Annette has spoken English at school. What does that say in Spanish?
Hablado.
Hablado. So how do we say in Spanish that one?
Has been.
Has been, that's correct. English has been. Well, you said it in English. We say English has been spoken. How will you translate this, Hassan?
Inglés.
El inglés.
Ha sido.
El inglés. In Spanish, el inglés
Ha
ha sido hablado. Okay? Yeah? Is that clear? What you're doing? You need to be taking your class. Exactly. Okay. And now notice here that these are normal sentences, but this is progressive. This Annette está hablando. If I say, don't look at the board. Don't look at the board. Don't look at the board. Okay, look at me. If I say, Annette está hablando inglés. How do you say about that in Spanish? Annette está hablando inglés. In Spanish. Está siendo hablado. Because if she says only es hablado, doesn't match my sentence. Because if I say Annette speaks English, that is this one, Annette speaks English is spoken. But if I say Annette is speaking, in this moment is the action in progress, I need to say el inglés está siendo hablado. Mi carro está siendo lavado, la casa está siendo pintada, la comida está siendo preparada. When we have this, so how do you say está siendo? ¿Vale? Is. ¿Está siendo? ¿Está siendo? Yes, is being with ing. Yes? Okay? So, this is active voice and this is passive voice. It's okay. Now copy that. Copy that.